Ooh, that looks tasty.
Meow. 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 Meow.
Welcome, folks! Today, the Hungry Gamer is back with another Kickstarter preview. And today, we are talking about Cleocatra. Yes, the pun is strong with this one. And this is a game designed by, and I apologize if I mispronounce the name, but designed by Tate Wu, with art by Kayami, and the publisher is Sunrise Tornado Game Studios. Before I begin, first off, thank you to Manic Mark for today's voiceover intro. Additionally, please make sure you turn on your Klingon subtitles, because if I make a mistake, that is where you'll find the corrections. And then the last thing is, this is a prototype that I have here in front of me. There will be a bunch of changes, and I'm also not going to show you the scorecard in the frame, but I will put that up on the screen right now. Cleocatra is a worker placement tile laying puzzle game where you each are rescuers of cats in ancient Egypt, doing your best to rescue as many different kinds as you possibly can, and the first one to 23 points is going to be the winner. Now, if you are not interested in how the game works, just want to jump ahead to my final thoughts, then you're going to want to jump to the timestamp on the screen right now. Now, for those of us still here, let's talk quickly about how this game works. Right now, I have meeples representing 3 different players, my stack of tiles, this here, which I believe is the first player marker, doesn't matter at the moment, so I'm going to toss that over there. These 3 cubes represent the inspectors. That'll make sense in just a little bit. And that is all that you need to know, again, with the addition of the scorecard. And you'll be able to see how that works in the playthrough video that I'll be doing shortly as well. So on your turn, each player gets to take and must take 2 actions. They can take 1 tile action and 1 rescuer action, or 2 rescuer actions. If they take an initial action, that would mean they can't take a second action. They have to do something different. So first off, tile action abilities. There are 2 tile actions. You can scout, which means you take the top tile off and you place it down in front of you. And as you're taking tiles off, it's very important that you are connecting an entire side to another side. You can't do any connection that is point to point, because that's just silly. So that is one of the actions that you can take. And I'll just put a few more of these out. Now, the other tile action that you can take is the search action. And that means you can take any tile that has no meeples on it, and you can move it somewhere else in the puzzle, like so. And I'll also say that there are a bunch of different actions that can be taken based on what color tile you are on if you're playing in the advanced mode, and I'll tell you what those different actions are in just a little bit. Then the rescuer options that you have, the first thing that you can do as a rescuer action is what is called a dispatch. You can dispatch one of your meeples into the pyramid onto a tile that you just moved or placed. So I just moved that one so I could place my rescuer there. Another thing that you can do is you can do a team up. And that means you can place another meeple directly adjacent to a meeple that you already have there. The third thing you can do is you can do a score. And then you pick which tile you're going to score. So for the sake of argument, we'll say that I'm going to score, I'll move these guys off. I'm going to just score this yellow tile, because that's the one that I'm on. So what happens is you look at how many different colored tiles are adjacent to that one. So here we have a yellow, a pink, a blue, and another pink. So I would gain 1 for the yellow, 1 for the pink, and 1 for the blue. And that means I would get 3 points. Now if my puzzle, my playing space looked like this, I would get 4 points. 1 for the yellow, 1 for the orange, 1 for the pink, 1 for the blue. Now, if you have meeples next to the tile you are scoring, they count as helpers, and they are worth an additional point if they are on a tile that's going to score. So here it would be 1 for the yellow, 1 for the pink, 1 for the blue, 1 for the orange, so 4 points, then 5 6 points for the 2 helpers. Once that is done, the meeple on the tile you scored and any helpers are removed. Then you take an inspector and you put it on the tile that was just scored. The inspector means while you can have another meeple there, you cannot score that tile. I will also say now that you can at any time have 2 meeples on any given tile. As long as they are different colors, you cannot have more than 2 meeples on a tile. The first player to get to 23 points triggers the end of the game. Then everybody gets to have another turn until everyone's had equal amounts of turns. And then the game ends. Whoever has the highest score at that time is the winner. Now, the only other thing that you need to know is how the advanced tiles work. And so let me clear these off. I also need to tell you that once you have all 3 inspectors out, if you score another tile, you would simply remove an inspector from somewhere else in the pyramid and place it on the tile that you are on. Now, moving on to the advanced tiles. I will also point out that this is all the tiles in the game. This is the entire game you see. It is the size of my hand. Now, in the advanced game, first you get an additional rescuer action. So it's called Herd. And so for my rescuer action, I can move one of my meeples 1 tile, simply going across a side, not across a point. Then the more important thing is each color tile has a different ability associated with it. So I'll start here with the 1 yellow, the Cleocatra herself. If you score the Cleocatra tile, you get 1 additional point, and then whatever player has the fewest points after that scoring immediately gets to take 1 action. This is outside of their turn. Then we have the blue tiles. And the blue tiles, you are allowed to spend your tile action. Again, you can only do 1 per turn, and you can move it wherever you want. Now, that's not any different than normal, except with this tile, there can be someone on the tile and you can still move it somewhere else. On the green tiles, you can spend a rescuer action to swap places with another rescuer of a different color on the board. On the pink tiles, if you score that tile, your rescuer does not get removed. However, if you had helpers helping you, so if I scored this one, I would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. These 2 would still go away, my meeple would stay there, and an inspector would show up. And then finally, the advanced mode on the orange tiles, if you score on an orange tile, you still remove your rescuer, but you take 2 inspectors and you place them on other tiles other than the one that you just scored. And that's it. That is everything possibly need to know about how to play Cleocatra. It is quite simple. So, what do I like about this game? First off, I like the pun. I'm a big pun fan. Second, I like, and I say this a lot, but I like how small this game is. This is a really small game. Literally, size of my hand. You can play this on a tray table, a single tray table at the airport, and I think that's just awesome. It's also a very fast game. In the time it took me to explain everything and how to play, I probably could have played through 2 whole games. That's just how quick the game actually is. I like the variants of the advanced and the basic mode. The basic mode is fun and just super fast and simple. It's not very puzzly. You can play with almost anybody. But then if you want a little more meat, you want to be a little thinkier about it, you add the advanced rules, and it's enough to really keep it interesting. So I like all of that. I also like the promise of the art on the tiles. I think it's cute. If you like cats, I like cats. And they're, the tails all blinged out and their jewelry and stuff they have on there. So all of that I enjoy. And I neglected to mention just a second ago that I also like the tile abilities. I think none of them seem too powerful. The only one that does seem powerful is the Cleocatra, that extra point, but then again, you're giving somebody an extra action, and as I was playing, we found out that that extra action you're giving to somebody can be incredibly powerful, especially if you're playing in a 2-player game, so you're basically giving your opponent 3 actions in a row, which can just be brutal. So you really have to be careful about when you use that. And then finally, I like that this game is more than the sum of its parts. It simply is it simply has a lot more going on than you would think from looking at it. And I mean, the rules are here. I mean, that's it. That's all there is to it. It's the front and back. Yet there's enough going on that it can keep you thinking, and I do really enjoy that. So, what are my quibbles about this game? My first quibble has to do with the artwork, and I'm hoping that it's going to change. But I think it's a real bummer that, for the most part, that's almost the same cat. Yes, the pink one over here has some stripes on it, but it's pretty close to the same cat. And then the same thing here with these other two. Again, it's not exactly the same, but it's almost the same cat. And I think they're very cute and they're fun, and I just wish they were more distinct. And then, Cleocatra, she's pretty distinct. And now I'm positive that it's going to be something that shows up in the actual campaign, but I do hope that the meeples have a little more flavor than just being meeples, and the inspectors wind up not being cubes. Again, this is just a prototype, so that's probably why I have cubes. And so that's it, folks. That is Cleocatra. This is a very quick, easy game to play. However, unlike a lot of the other quick, easy games that I have, it's not card-based, it's tile-based, it's tile laying, which adds a new dynamic to a quick, fast, easy game. I think if you're somebody that likes tile laying games, likes worker placement, then this is definitely worth checking out because it's small, it's compact, and it has those elements to it. I also think if you like the cute little cats, it's probably worth checking out because I'm expecting this is going to be a delightful little game with great art on it. Hopefully we'll get some different cats as well. So there you have it, folks. That is Cleocatra. If I made any mistakes, please let me know in the comments with a timestamp, and I will get that right into the Klingon subtitles. If you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, share, all of those things. As always, thank you so very much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.